Story time. Story time, people. I'm going to tell a story about, the three little pigs. You all know the three little pigs. Anyway, this story goes back 20 plus years ago. I was living in a house down by Donlands and Danforth, across the street from the 7-Eleven. Anyway, we were there with Kathy, my wife, my granddaughter, Chanel. She was probably in senior kindergarten, junior kindergarten. We had her anyway. For some reason, we had her. Anyway, it's after supper. Kathy's doing the dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, whatever. And I'm in the front room, where the couch, the chairs are and stuff, the bookshelves and stuff. And Chanel's with me. I'm keeping her busy or occupied or whatever you want to call it, right? That's my job. Job. Anyway, she says, Grandpa, read me a story. Always reading her stories. Of course, read her a story. So I said, okay, go get a book out of the bookshelf over there, right? There's books, kids' books, whatever. So she picks out an encyclopedia with, nursery rhymes, fantasy tales, whatever in this book. But this book is an encyclopedia. And this encyclopedia is from 1918. 1918 encyclopedia. Kathy's grandmother had this set, right? So it's old already, right? By the time I was reading it, I didn't think much of it, right? So, okay, Three Little Pigs from 1918. So I'm laying on the couch, of course, reading this story. Chanel's laying on the floor beside me, kind of down there, right, with her feet up on the couch and listening. So I start telling the story. Three Little Pigs. Well, they got off the boat. They got off the boat. They went to the, promised land thing. There's all kinds of people there, houses. They're to get off. They're there for a few days, if I remember right. And then they're in town, right? And they're looking for stuff to buy. And with the first little pig, he spies a guy with a whole bunch of, hay, right, on the back of his wagon. So he says to him, can you buy the hay? He wants to make a house. The guy sells him the hay, right? So that's okay. And the three little pigs, I'm reading the story, okay? Three little pigs make this house, make it out of hay, a big house anyway. So three of them are done. They got this house together. Anyway, they're back in the little town, roaming around, right, looking for more stuff to buy. So the second little pig buys some wood off this guy, right? He's got a big pile of wood on the back of his wagon. So he gets the wood, and the three of them, right, make a house for the second pig out of wood. Nice house, right? Anyway, so. And they're roaming around in the town again, a while later, and they come across this guy with a wagon. He's got bricks, right? You're following people, you're following the story, right? They all got bricks. He's got bricks on the back of his wagon. So the third pig gets the bricks, buys the bricks, takes them to wherever he's building his house. The three of them build a house out of brick. All right? So Chanel's laying there, everything's fine and dandy. I'm reading the story, Grandma's in the kitchen, everything's cool. All right, so a little while later, the story's moving on. A little while later, the wolf shows up. Of course, everybody knows the wolf, right? So I'm laying there, I'm reading Chanel the story, and we get into the part where the wolf shows up in front of the house, the straw house, right? So the wolf yells, screams, hollers, whatever, to this pig that's in the straw house. I'm gonna huff, I'm gonna puff, I'm gonna blow your house down. I'm gonna blow your house down. And the pig inside there says, go ahead, if you can blow it down. So the wolf huffs and puffs, and he gets a mighty wind. It's all built up, and he blows, and he. And I'm reading this to Chanel now, people. Okay, so she's listening very intently. The wolf blows the house down, right? And then he eats the pig. He gobbles up the pig, he eats him. What? Chanel goes, what? I go, what? Chanel goes, what did you say, Grandpa? What did you say? The wolf ate the pig. And Chanel's starting to whimper and cry, and she's going, the wolf ate the pig? I go, I'm thinking, this is not how I remember the Three Little Pigs. Anyway, Chanel's crying now. She's whimpering, she's bawling, she's crying. She's bawling. They're like, oh, Grandpa, the wolf ate the pig. I'm going, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Kathy's in the kitchen yelling down the hallway, Bob, why is Chanel crying? I'm stumbling over my words. I don't know what to say. Kathy's yelling, she's crying, what did you do? I'm going, I didn't do anything. Well, you must have did something. Why is Chanel crying? I'm going, I only read her a story. I read her a story about the Three Little Pigs. And Kathy goes, yeah? They'll go, well, it's from those encyclopedias that your grandmother owned from 1918. And Kathy goes, oh, you shouldn't have read, don't read her any stories from those encyclopedias. I go, well, yeah, now I know. Because that's not the story about the Three Little Pigs that I know. Anyway, Chanel's laying there crying. Kathy's yelling at me. What did I do? And all I did was read Chanel the story about the Three Little Pigs. But this story about the Three Little Pigs was definitely not the one we all know today, where, as far as I understand, the story goes, yeah, he huffs and puffs and he blows the straw house down. That pig runs to the second house, right? And he huffs and puffs and blows the wooden house down. And those two pigs run to the brick house. And the wolf's blowing the brick house down. He can't. And then he climbs up the chimney, and down the chimney he ends up in the friggin' pot, right? Pot of hot water, as far as I understand. That's how the story goes, right? Am I right? No. So instead, I read a story from 1918 where the friggin' wolf eats the pig. And I never even finished that story. I never finished it. I was too busy. Chanel's crying. I'm laying there. No, it's okay, it's okay. And Kathy's yelling down the hallway, what did you do? And I'm going, I didn't do anything. I just read Chanel's story. So yeah, quite memorable that day. Bob, what did you do? I didn't do anything but read a story about the Three Little Pigs. So if you got an encyclopedia set from 1918 sitting in your front room bookshelf, and your granddaughter wants you to read, to whatever you do, don't read any of those stories. Because they're all from, like, not the ones I remember. They're all crazy. They're, what is it? All those stories in the beginning, like, here we go around the mulberry bush and all those stories, crazy stories. Yeah, the Three Little Pigs. Very bad day that one was. I didn't even do anything and got myself into trouble. I'll tell you another story some other time, if you like them.